Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Chris, the podcast. I am Matthew Farrell and I'm here with my dad.
Yeah, I'm here Sunday Farumbi, and it's been a while.
Yeah, if you're watching the video, you can see it's a little bit of a different setup. It's more of a laid back setup than we normally have, just for less editing and a little bit less work. Um, just because we've been traveling a lot, I don't want to spend a lot of energy doing editing and setting up. We got back not even a week ago from from Nigeria, so yeah.
So how have you recovered, or have you even recovered from the trip?
I'm gonna. I don't know. I was usually the jet lag hasn't affected me that much when we came back. Um, I'd say I'd probably just fallen asleep earlier. Usually by like 8 or 9, I'm like almost falling asleep now for the last few days.
Well, that is it. Well, that's not your normal time of sleeping, is it?
I mean, during the week, I usually go to bed early. I'm usually in bed by like 10:30 ish or 10.
Uh-huh.
But now it's like I can hardly keep my eyes open at like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So, but I've been able to sleep through the night for the most part, which is good. So,
Yeah. Usually that happens because you are able to actually stay up till around 8, 9, like you said. But
mm,
if you take a nap, and usually it will be a long nap in the afternoon,
yeah,
that's what affects the recovery. But if you're able to stay up longer during the day, and even if you go to bed by 7, 8, you still have a lot of sleep to sleep through the night. And it's the same thing for me too. It's been I don't know. I think apart from the first day we arrived, we got back home by 11 a.m. So
hmm
that day I tried to stay. I really tried my best to stay awake till the evening, but I couldn't do it by 5 p.m. I couldn't do it anymore.
yeah. I think by 5 we all fell asleep.
Yeah, by 5 p.m. I had to go sleep, and then around 9, 10 p.m. then I woke up.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up and I stayed till maybe around 4 a.m. before I went back to sleep. But
Yeah.
apart from that, the rest of the days have been pretty normal.
Yeah. So I guess I just wanted to talk a little bit about our travels, and then we could start a little bit at the beginning of. I guess we were first in St. Louis. I don't know if that was the first one for S's
Yeah,
my sister's graduation.
Well, yeah, it's been what?
Pretty much every week we've been
Yeah,
somewhere.
4 weeks, 4 straight weeks
Yeah.
of travel is what it turned out to be. Yes, we left on a Friday just before the middle of May,
hmm
to travel to St. Louis for Esther's graduation.
And then she also had 3 graduations
Yeah, we had 3
Uh,
graduations that weekend:
so-
Saturday, Sunday, and
on
Monday.
Monday.
And then the Tuesday, uh, you guys had to drive back
Drove back.
while your mom and I, flew somewhere else.
hmm
And then we returned. We came home, flew back home the next day,
Right.
which was that was a Wednesday, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys.
It
came
was
up
a
Wednesday.
Wednesday, and it was the that weekend, the Friday of that weekend, 2 days later.
Yeah.
You
We
and
had
your
to
siblings
drive.
went to
Minneapolis to get some stuff ready for
the trip to Nigeria.
for our passports and
Yes.
all that stuff. So after driving back 6 hours on Tuesday, had to drive 5.5 hours on Friday
To Minneapolis.
to Minneapolis, and then
Back.
we came back the next day
on
so
Saturday.
5.5 hours back on Saturday.
Meanwhile, we flew. Your mom and I flew. That same Friday, you guys traveled. We flew to Detroit and drove to Grand Rapids.
Mhm. For a wedding, yeah.
2+ hours for a wedding that weekend,
hmm
and then we returned home on Sunday, and then we began the preparation for the big trip
Right.
that week. And I think we left on Thursday.
Yeah. We left on
Thursday that week.
Thursday. What time? What's our flight in time was our flight again? I'm trying to
The
remember.
flight out of here, out of Omaha, was around
Yeah.
10:30
Okay.
in the
Yeah.
morning.
10:30.
10:30 in the morning. We flew from Omaha to Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had like what 3-4 hour layover
in Atlanta, and then
before
we flew.
the long flight.
Yeah, so it was. I think we saw on the plane it said the flight from Atlanta to Lagos was 10 hours and 50 minutes.
10 hours and 50 minutes. Yes,
Yeah,
almost
so
11 hours.
just
Non-stop flight.
Yeah.
So that was long, and I don't know. I know you and I sat together, and your mom and Esther sat together, and I think I'm not sure if you slept. Were you able to sleep during the flight?
On the flight to there, I slept on and off. Like I think there was like a 2 hour period. I kept falling asleep and then waking up.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was kind of awake, and then
And you're watching
started watching different movies and stuff.
Yeah, that's always been the challenge for me. For almost 3 decades, I've had a lot of opportunity to travel internationally, and international travel overnight like that is at least 6-7 hours or more, is always a challenge for me to sleep. I could not sleep on those flights. So this one that's almost 11 hours, I knew there was no way I would be able to sleep. So I would doze off. I would doze off for maybe 5-10 minutes, because I can't sleep sitting up, just in recline. I have to lie flat to be able to sleep.
Yeah.
That was a challenge for me. So by the time we were landing in Lagos at around 11 a.m. the next day, I was tired.
We also we lost 6 hours flying there in a sense, because they're 6 hours ahead.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we left. What, 6?
Yeah, we left around
6.
Around 6 something, maybe 6:30 p.m.
Yeah, 6:30 p.m. our Omaha time, or I guess that's Eastern time.
Yeah, Eastern time.
Eastern time.
Eastern time.
And then we didn't get there until 11 a.m.
11 a.m. the next day.
Lagos. Yeah.
11 a.m. the next day, which actually would have been.
It would have been just about midnight when we.
No, not midnight.
No, I mean 6 p.m. Eastern. Well, I guess like 11.
No, actually more like 6 a.m. the next day. We left here around
6 a.m. Eastern time. I'm
Eastern
talking about Lagos time when we left.
Yeah,
So 6 p.m. Eastern time would be like 11.
Yes, it will be around 11
11
p.m.
p.m. Yeah.
11 p.m. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. So if you look at it that way, around 11 p.m. or 11 something p.m., the Lagos time, well, technically it's called West African time, that we left.
Yeah.
And then we didn't land until almost 11 a.m.
Right.
So roughly almost 12 hours, but the actual flight was actually around 11 hours.
11 hours, yes. And then we had a lot of flights even within the trip.
Yes. So we arrived Lagos on a Friday, and we turned around the very next day. The very next day to begin our crisscrossing around within the country.
Right.
So we flew to Benin City.
Benin City, yeah.
Benin City to see
where mom and her mom's sisters live.
Yeah.
Lots of her family.
Her mom, her sisters, her brother also came in from where he lives. One of our brothers came in. So how was the experience for you in Benin City?
I feel like it's not as congested as Lagos, I guess.
Of course not.
But yeah, but it's still the smaller roads are just more not as developed though.
Yeah.
Because
the side roads.
Yeah, the side roads are basically just dirt.
Yeah.
So
they're dirt roads because the drainage infrastructure is not very well done. So when it rains, and I think it rained almost every day one day.
Yeah.
But even the day we arrived, it rained heavily before we landed. So it was many of those side roads, they are usually flooded. They're usually flooded, and because of that, as the roads are flooded, even if they were tarred before, because there's standing water all around and vehicles running over them, before you know it, you have these big ditches and potholes all over the place. So it will look like they are not tarred. Some of them were, they just got eroded.
Yeah.
And some were not. But usually the major streets, that's when you see better roads. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see something like that in many other cities apart from Lagos. But Lagos has its own too. Lagos has its own.
Yeah.
No,
I know
pothole
when
free road.
we had our cousin drove, and I remember I rode with him to pick up Daniel, my brother, from the
At
airport.
the airport, yeah.
But I think there was an accident or there was something on the main road, so we had to use like this back road,
Yeah.
which was all basically all dirt and
Yeah.
filled with like potholes and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
So
a
it
lot.
took like I think 3 times as long to get to the airport than it
Yeah.
normally would.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually that's the typical experience with driving generally in Nigeria, many roads in Nigeria, and especially the side roads, like you said, on the side roads. And that's the reason why, even here, because of the experience of driving over there, I've realized that that's why here I'm very watchful to dents on the road.
Oh yeah,
So potholes or things that does where the road is not smooth. Sometimes we have those here in Omaha
yeah.
after after the winter.
Snowstorms. And
After the
all that
winter,
ice.
when all the freeze and uh, the expansion, contraction of the roads.
Yeah.
No, usually after the winter, you have potholes all over the place and things like that. So usually, because of experience, growing up in Lagos, driving in Lagos, I'm always looking for those spots on the road. So I'm always avoiding them because that's the way you drive.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in Nigeria, you look for where it's smoother and you navigate your way around so many myriad of potholes
Yeah.
all over the place. So
And I guess since we're talking about driving, we could talk about how no one follows the traffic laws there. And even if they have the even if the roads are marked, people just drive in the middle of the road.
Yeah, that's one of the things surprising to many people that you have the lane markers and people don't seem to stay within their lanes.
Yeah.
You have one side of the wheel on one lane, the other side on the other lane, and usually, but that's usually when traffic is moving,
Yeah.
especially on the highways and things. When traffic is moving, if you are in a traffic, which you see a lot of traffic in Lagos, especially, if you're in a traffic, then you see people, kind of, you just follow the vehicle in front of you, kind of. So there's some semblance of lanes because traffic is not moving. But when it's moving, we just do whatever they want.
Yeah. And there's no one that lets people in. Like, I know it was a little bit different when we moved from St. Louis to Omaha, how, like, if you're changing lanes, sometimes people will slow down so you can get in.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. It's you have to just go.
Yeah.
And
nobody. Well, let me not say nobody. There are still some nice, good people
Yeah.
who give you the right of way, let you go.
But it's not the norm.
It's not enough. No, it's actually a test of wills.
Mm-hmm.
The test of wills. Both of you are inching to go at the same time to see who will blink first, who will stop for the other person.
Yeah.
Especially at some junctions when traffic is heavy and there are no traffic controllers or something there to be able to direct traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And that usually happens a lot during rush hour traffic in the morning and the evening.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember Mom was asking me if I would be able to drive there. I was like, if I really needed to, I could, but it's just too much of a hassle. You have to pay attention too much.
Yes, you have to really, really pay attention to the roads when you're driving.
Yeah.
If not, you get hit or you hit somebody.
Yeah.
So that's not. I'm not even exaggerating that. That's easy. It's very easy. Scratches and dents and things like that.
Yeah.
So you have to be at alert when you are driving because anything can happen at any time. And also you learn to anticipate. At least for me, I know, growing up in Lagos, driving around in Lagos, you learn to anticipate what other drivers may do.
Yeah.
So your reaction time is very, very short. It's very quick because you anticipate what they are going to do, which is not normal. It's not like it's a normal behavior, but because you know how people drive, you anticipate those abnormal behaviors, and because of that, you are not really surprised when it happens and you are able to quickly react.
And also the big. And I was telling one of my coworkers this today because they were asking how the trip was. Um, the cars don't give way for pedestrians. Pedestrians just have to
Yes.
get out of the way, which is like
Yeah.
a place like in the U.S. Like if someone just crosses the road, even if they're jaywalking or whatever, you're gonna stop.
Yeah.
But in a place like there,
It's
no one is
no.
the person you have to stop. Otherwise, you're
The
probably gonna
vehicles
get
don't stop for people.
hit.
People stop for vehicles.
Yeah.
It's just the complete opposite.
Mhm.
It is the complete opposite, and that's one of the things that I'll be honest with you. I think it's just pure courtesy, though.
Yeah.
The common courtesy. It's like if I'm crossing, maybe in a parking lot, in a shopping mall, or in Walmart or something. You are coming out and you see vehicles wait for you.
Yeah.
I think it's just common courtesy for you to pick up your pace. You know, pick up your pace to quickly go across. And at least I try to do that and wave at them to say thank you. It kind of it annoys me. Let me use that term. It annoys me
Yeah.
when I see people just casually, when a vehicle stops for you, just casually, just take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time and say something. Maybe because of where I grew up, because like you just said, vehicles don't stop for you. You stop for vehicles or find an opportunity to dash through the traffic. So my thinking is that if a driver or a vehicle is stopping for you, the least you can do is to not just waddle as if you own the road. To at least pick up your pace a little bit. To show, for me, it's showing appreciation for the driver who had stopped for you. Yeah. If you do that in Lagos, you get killed easily. You get killed, or you get maimed or run down or something, or you get hit. Usually, anyway, people don't get killed. Eventually, the driver he may bump you but stop eventually, but he will yell at you. Will yell at you and say, "Can't you see? Can't you see or watch where you're going?"
When I think about it, I guess it makes a little bit more sense because everyone's walking. There's always constantly people walking around on the road.
That is true.
So if every car were to stop for every person,
it would not be at the moment.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yes. Lagos is, and that's the thing. That's the thing about Lagos. And if you read anything about Lagos, there's Lagos City, Lagos Island actually is the actual name. Lagos Island, which is an island within Lagos State. So it's like New York, kind of.
Yeah.
So there's Lagos State, and then there's Lagos Island, and there's a Lagos mainland. We call it mainland, and all the surrounding areas. Lagos mainland, Lagos Island, and every area, even where we were, that is called Lagos, is one of the smallest. Actually, Lagos State is the smallest state in the country in terms of land area.
Yeah.
It is the smallest, but it's the most populated.
Okay.
The population of Lagos is about 26 million. So it's a huge number of people.
Yeah.
It's the biggest. Is the biggest city in Africa, in the whole of Africa, not just in Nigeria. It has the biggest population, and that population is packed densely into a tiny space.
That's why it's like, I think you kind of mentioned similar to New York in a sense where there's a lot of people in a smaller area.
Yes, it's like New York City, Brooklyn, Manhattan, all those areas that is densely packed. But just imagine that in a slightly bigger area. I mean, I'm talking about the whole of Lagos State now. A slightly bigger area, but packed with more people.
Wow.
Because I think the population of New York is probably like, if I remember, maybe 10, 11 million or so.
Yeah.
Lagos is more than twice that.
Wow.
And so, like you said, because of that, people are always walking around. There's always movement of people all over the place. And then you get these three-legged things. Those things like scooters.
They're like I wouldn't even call them scooters. They're like bus type, smaller vans because they carry people.
They can't. No,
they're like the main
they're
driver.
taxis.
Yeah, they're like taxi type things.
Yeah, they are taxi type things. where you're supposed to have. Usually, you have just a driver in front
Yeah, and then like it's
and,
two in the back or
and two
what?
in the back.
Yeah.
But usually, you see them carry 3 or 4 in the back, and then another passenger squatting next to the driver most of the time. So
Yeah.
they are very small.
Yeah, they're
very
like
small.
slimmer and smaller than regular cars.
Yeah,
Like,
they
you
are
can almost
just
fit between lanes.
exactly. They're slightly wider than a motorcycle.
Yeah.
So they cause a lot of trouble because they will fit in between lanes if there's traffic.
Yeah.
They will maneuver tight spaces, and it's there are parts of Lagos that they've been banned. Yeah, there was actually they've been banned in some parts of Lagos that they should not go to those areas, and I think we didn't get the opportunity to go to those areas. And
is it like the richer areas or something?
not exactly, not exactly. It's where there's a lot of traffic.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of normal.
So the traffic
and
is heavy enough. So.
Yes, there's a lot of vehicular traffic in Lagos, all over Lagos anyway. But where I think they did that where maybe there have been a lot of fatal accidents.
Okay.
Cars or vehicles hitting them. So that's probably why they banned them from those areas where there's more fast-moving traffic, not to go there. So you get that too. That's a form of public transportation for most people.
Yeah,
They will take those, and it's interesting.
Yeah, and then from, I guess, Benin, we flew back to Lagos.
Yes.
And then we were there for another couple days.
Yeah, well, we weren't really in Lagos because we went to Abeokuta to do the passport.
Oh, right, yeah.
To the passports, went to the rock, top of the rock, then came back. Yeah, so for those couple of days, then we left again. We left for Abuja. I think that's one you guys enjoy more.
Yeah, so Abuja is. It almost looks like the U.S. when you're there because the roads are a little bit better when you get there. It's has more places more similar to here.
Yeah.
But I know Mom was saying it's just way more expensive to live there as well. So.
Well, it is expensive. I don't know. Lagos is pretty expensive to live in Lagos too.
Right.
Like Lagos is one of the most expensive places. Abuja may be also, but Abuja is like that because it was planned.
Right,
it was much more planned. I think, and I can't remember now. I'm thinking the whole city is probably about 30 years old or 30-something years old.
Oh wow!
It was. Abuja is to Nigeria what Washington D.C. is to the United States. Okay. So that's the capital city. It's not a state. It's not a state. Just like Washington D.C. is not a state. I think it's kind of patterned after that. So Lagos was the capital of Nigeria before. Lagos was the capital, and people still believe it's still the commercial capital. It's the center of everything, really.
Right.
But in the early 1990s, I believe it was 1991, if I remember, there was a move or a decision to move the capital from Lagos to somewhere in the center of the country. Okay. So if you look at the map, Abuja is really right in the middle of Nigeria, in the center. So they actually carved out the city, Abuja, from like, I think 4 states. There are 4 states. They carved it out of those 4 states. Yeah. And then it was kind of built and developed from the ground up. So, like I said, about 30, 35 years ago. So that's why it looks much more planned, much more...
There's a lot more space. It's not as congested.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's the seat of power. That's where the president, where the Senate and the House, where they meet. So that's where the seat of power is now. But everything still happens in Lagos.
And it's further from, because Lagos is right next to the ocean too. Oh yeah. So it's further up north, so it's not as humid up there as well. So
that's true. That's true. It is hot. It's actually hotter, I think. The more north you go in Nigeria, the hotter it gets. But it's not as humid. It's much more drier. Yeah. But Lagos is right. Lagos has a coast with the Atlantic Ocean. It's humid. It is very hot. It is humid. Temperatures usually year-round. Temperature goes from mid-70s to low 90s usually. Okay. All year round. No, temperature doesn't vary that much, and that's why the temperature gets to mid to low 70s, people complain that it's cold.
Yeah, that's how it was when we were there. When it would rain,
Yeah, when it
it'd be
rains,
like upper 70s, sometimes low 80s, or mid 70s sometimes. And people would be like, "Oh, it's so cold
yeah,
outside."
exactly.
Yeah.
When it rains and temperature drops, once again drops to mid 70s, it's people feel like it's cold. So usually, especially in Lagos, you get up to low 90s.
Mm-hmm.
In Abuja, you can get up to mid or upper 90s.
Mm-hmm.
In the extreme northern part of Nigeria, when now you are getting to the desert,
Yeah.
from the middle to the top, you get in the Sahara Desert area. Those are always very hot. You get temperatures in the 105, 110
Wow.
for high temperatures, but it's dry.
It's dry.
It's,
yeah.
it's really, really dry. You don't sweat. So you can feel the heat on your skin, but you don't sweat.
Yeah.
You don't sweat. You don't feel uncomfortable. So that's the thing with Abuja. So we're there. We actually cut our trip short, right?
Oh yeah.
That's
I mean, do
another-
we want to talk about why that was? Yeah. Yeah. We cut it short by 2 days about.
So overall trip we short by 2 days, but
Mm-hmm.
our stay in Abuja was cut short by 1.
Oh yeah, because we had to fly back.
Yeah,
Lagos
because we
early.
had to fly back to Lagos first.
Mhm.
And that was because when we were there on May 29th when the transition of power happened,
Mhm.
when the new president was sworn in.
Right.
We're in Benin then on May 29th when that happened. And in his inaugural speech, he removed the oil subsidy.
Yeah, subsidy.
Subsidy on oil. And for those who may not be aware, Nigeria is an oil producing country. So there's a lot of oil. And because of that, the government subsidizes gas prices.
Mm-hmm.
So gas prices in Nigeria, before them, do not really reflect actual gas prices because it's high. And there have been efforts in the past to remove those subsidies, which means gas prices will go up.
Mm-hmm.
And there are always demonstrations and things against it. So, but this time around, during his inaugural address, the new president said there will be removal of subsidies.
Right.
And then suddenly there are lines in gas stations.
Right.
Some of them are just holding them because it's not like gas just disappeared. They had gasoline, but they just were not selling them. So prices shot up.
Yeah, I know it didn't like more than double.
Yeah, it was more than double.
Yeah.
It was more than double, like 2.5 times of what it was before. So
Mm-hmm.
so because of that, the labor union, there are several labor unions for different groups.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have like the group of electric workers, the group of these workers, and things like that. But there's a national one which I don't think exists here in the United States. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
There's a national one called the Nigerian Labour Congress. So all of those smaller trade unions groups, they are kind of part. The Nigerian Labour Congress is the parent organization for all workers in general. And so I think 2 or 3 days after the subsidies were removed, the executive of the Labour Congress met and they decided there will be a strike.
Yeah.
So
when you say strike, this is like countrywide.
Yeah, it was nationwide strike. So every organization, electricity workers, gas workers, people working the water, something, utilities, banks, anything. Each one of those different groups that have their own different unions, all of them get directive from the National Labour Congress. So there was a directive for everyone to go on strike.
Yeah.
So that means everything will be at a standstill.
Right.
So quickly.
And this was, I believe, this was announced, like, Sunday?
Yes, actually, the thing came out, May 29th was the transition.
Yeah.
The letter I saw that was circulating actually said they met on 2 days later on June 1st.
Okay.
They met on June 1st, it happened, but we were not following the news, so we didn't know.
Yeah.
We didn't know until
It was Sunday that we
Sunday
found
night,
out. And we were planning on being in Abuja until
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yes,
And then the strike was supposed to happen on Wednesday.
yes.
And then we were supposed to fly out on Friday. Or,
No, on
no,
Thursday.
on Thursday.
On
Yeah,
Thursday.
on Thursday.
But also to fly back here on Thursday. So the strike was going to start at midnight on Wednesday. So actually, like Tuesday night.
Yeah.
At the stroke of midnight, beginning of Wednesday, that was when the letter says it will start. So and Thursday is when we are going to leave. So we are thinking, okay, if they go on strike, airport workers,
Yeah.
nothing's going to happen,
Right.
and then then that means we may be stuck there for a while.
Yeah.
And for me, I was more concerned about you and your mom. You guys have to go back to work.
Yeah.
So, and it was even late. It was late on Sunday night we found out about this. So we started scrambling around. So the first thing I tried to do was to see if the strike was going to start Wednesday, which is like midnight, Tuesday night. We needed to leave before that time.
Yeah.
So I tried putting that to see if I can change our flights from leaving on Thursday night to Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. Yeah.
Around 10:30 p.m. And it took a while, but I was able to do that. And I was actually able to do that without any change fees. So that was Tuesday. Meanwhile, we were supposed to be leaving Abuja that Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, because
going
we're
back
supposed to fly
Lagos.
back to Lagos before we even fly back to the
Yes.
States.
So I wanted to be sure, okay, we can fly out of Lagos by Tuesday. So if it comes to the worst, we can still leave Abuja Tuesday afternoon to get to Lagos, which I didn't want to do. It was cutting it so close.
Right.
So once we were able to change our return flight from Lagos, I thought, well, we need to also leave Abuja the previous day. So on Monday now instead of Tuesday. And then started working on that. It was around after midnight that night before I was able to do that. But by Monday morning, we were able to confirm that we'll be able to get on a flight Monday afternoon to get back. So that's what we did. That one was the one we had to pay a lot of change fees for the local flight. But we'll go back to Lagos that Monday afternoon, and then Tuesday we did final shopping, running around.
Yeah.
In the morning and afternoon before we had to go to the airport.
Yeah.
In the
And then
evening.
we flew back.
So, but apart from we just talked about where we went, what we saw, and things like that. So, what was the biggest shock for you?
Biggest shock?
Yeah. Well, what was the biggest? I know we talked about we talked and we've talked over the years about what is this like in Nigeria and things like that. But for you, because you don't remember anything, you were only 2 years old
Yeah.
when you came here. So, and this is your first time of going back since
Going
then.
back, yeah.
So, what would you say is the biggest cultural shock for you?
I have to think. I'm trying to think because there wasn't anything that was like crazy because all of it is like, besides like not having AC everywhere. I think that was the biggest thing I missed because I mean even where we stayed we had AC like in the room
We had that conditioning, yeah.
but even still then like going different places don't always it's not as common to have AC just everywhere.
Everywhere, yes.
And even when they do have AC it's not like as cold as we set it to.
Yes.
It's still the individual units for like per room or
Yes.
and things like that.
Yeah, not like a central air conditioning system that we have here where you set this thermostat for the entire house or for the entire apartment.
Yeah.
And you maintain the same temperature whichever room you go into. In this case, each room has its own window unit, we call them. Window unit that you mount on the wall that cools that room. So if you step out of that room into the hallway, it may be like 95 degrees in the hallway.
Yeah.
Or go to another room where the air conditioning is not on. It may not be. Yeah, so that's what you're saying, that it's not everywhere you go.
Yeah, just sometimes think of the biggest shock. I guess something I noticed that we kind of made fun of is everyone just almost asking or begging for money in a sense of
Yeah, well,
because just because they're, I guess, to provide context for it. Like when I remember in the airport, I went to use the bathroom. So as soon as I walk into the bathroom, there's like a bathroom attendant person there. And he gets up quickly and he like opens the stall for me. And then the minute I get out, he's like handing me like a napkin to clean my hand, and then he's wiping down my shoes. And then I'm washing my hand, which is all fine leading up to this point. And then I'm about to walk out, and then he's like, "Can you give me a little bit of something?" Or like kind of like motioning to give money. And obviously, I didn't even have any of the cash because I didn't. You had all the currency that had been converted.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have anything. So it's people like rush
To help you.
to help you, but mainly because they want you to give
Yeah,
them money.
the understanding is that I'm helping you. You're going to give me something at the
Yeah.
at the end. Yeah, you see that a lot, almost virtually everywhere.
Yeah,
And
which I think can be good and bad because it makes them almost provide a better service, I guess, if they,
yeah, well, in
in
a
a
way,
sense.
I don't know.
But it's more motivation, I guess, to provide a better service.
Yes,
If you're, if
yes,
you know,
kind
someone
of,
might
kind of.
pay you more. But
And the funny thing is not like, well, I don't want to say they are not paid. They are paid for doing their job, but they try to go over and above in order to get something extra
yeah,
for themselves. And it's not like um, it's not like you it's not like they wait for you to actually give it to them, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying they ask.
yeah, that's the thing. They're more
They-
bold about it. And
Yeah.
even when we went to the Aluma Rock, which is like
Yeah.
this rock that's more like a tourist attraction, when we got done with the tour, and then the tour guides were like, I know they were asking you because you're the one who had all the money. They're like
Yeah.
kind of motioning for money and or asking, and then you handed them some, and then they were basically like, "This is all."
Yeah,
This
they
is,
wanted
like
more.
this is it,
They wanted
which
more.
is something like here, something like that. Usually people wouldn't vocalize that even if they felt it.
Yeah, they want-
But
yeah.
there's more
Yeah,
bold
they-
about.
It doesn't matter. Sometimes there are some places. Doesn't matter what you give, they will think that's all. That's all you
Yeah.
have.
Oh, did I even tell you that they came to me to ask for more too? Because I was sitting.
After I gave them.
Yeah, I was sitting like off to the side somewhere, and then later, because I think they saw we were all together, and they're like, "Can you not give us a little bit more or something like that?" I was like, "I don't have any money to give you, even if I wanted to."
You tell them that I had all the money.
Yeah, so I was like, I told them, I put it back to you. I was like, if you want more, go ask him. So,
Yeah, because I had the converted cash
yeah,
that we had. See, that's the funny thing. That even the cash, because most of the time the transactions we can do it electronically. No, you can transfer. It's very easy to on your smartphone to transfer to pay for goods and services by just transferring funds from your account to their account.
yeah.
Because many of those it's a lot of cash if you have to carry cash all over the place. So,
Right. Yeah.
so usually we don't carry a lot of cash, because of the currency, everything is in thousands and things like that. So you don't carry cash, you just transfer or you pay with it's a debit card really. You pay with a debit card, it takes it from your account. So you don't have a lot of cash around. So and because of that, because you don't know where you need something where you'll not be able to use the card and you have to pay cash. So usually whatever cash you have, you try to minimize how you spend them.
Right.
So if you are giving, some of these people who are asking you for money, you give them, and those people I think I give them 1,000 naira each, which is something.
Yeah.
But to them it's not maybe able to buy the 1,000 naira they probably buy 2 loaves of bread or something with that. But it's that's one of the things that you also see people asking for. It can be annoying, at least to me. It can be annoying, but sometimes, but also you see that it's maybe because of a need, and they try to be helpful. So, like I said, they try to serve you. They try to go above and beyond to help you do things, so that.
But it's definitely more of an ulterior motive.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's an ulterior motive behind it to be able to do that. So I guess that's also kind of a cultural shock.
Yeah, I would say shock, but it's just something
It's
that
unusual.
I've noticed that's not the norm here.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Definitely, definitely.
Hmm.
So what else? Is there anything else that struck you or that?
Um, no, not really. Something that I remember when we were trying to buy stuff, when you guys were trying to just like bargain.
Oh yeah,
I remember it was mom, and then I think someone else said it. Like, yeah, you guys don't speak at all because once they hear
yeah.
like the American accent, they're gonna like double,
Double
triple,
the
even
price.
five
Yeah,
x the price.
yeah.
So when we were trying to buy stuff, me and my siblings will just be standing there, just mute. I remember when because I got this small like wooden carved elephant,
Oh yeah.
and he set a price. The person who was selling it, my uncle was just like, "No, that's way too much," and then just trying to like bargain. And eventually, he just told us to leave, and then we just walked away. We walked to the car, and then we
Yeah.
stayed there
And it
to
was
try and bargain.
it was bargaining with them.
Yeah.
We call it haggling too. You haggle over the
Mhm.
prices. Yeah, that's what you do. You haggle. You haggle. You can't. You remember some of the trinkets that we bought the one
Yeah,
in the market? Not this one. This one we bought in the mall, right?
yeah, this one we got in the mall, and it was
Yeah,
like
not expensive.
when mom heard how much it was, she
Yeah.
was like, "You can get it for a percentage of that."
Yeah, but that was also in the mall. That was in
Yeah,
the mall.
the
in
mall
Abuja.
is like
Mall
more set
is more
prices.
expensive and they
Yeah.
have sticker prices. But the one we later bought just before we left in the market, you see the quantity. In fact, all of them. And I don't know. You may not remember the prices because I see I paid for them.
I know.
All of them that we bought, like, was like almost a couple of dozen of them. The one that Esther bought.
Oh, the one Esther bought. Yeah,
Yeah.
we bought a. You guys got a lot.
Yeah, all of them was. I
Like,
think
almost
what we
the
paid
price
for
of
all of
one.
them was like the price of the
Yeah,
one that we bought
yeah.
in the mall. Yeah, yeah, because you first of all you bargain, you haggle, then you when you're bargaining for one, then eventually you throw in the fact that I'm buying more. I'm not just buying this one.
Right.
So even if maybe they start with 500 and you bargain it down to 200 or something, you are eventually not going to pay that 200 because I'm buying 4 or 5 of them, so I'm not going to pay 200 for each one of them. I'm going to pay maybe equivalent of 150 eventually.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. You bargain and bring the prices down. You want to get a good bargain for whatever it is. So that is something that is very common. Nobody pays normal price except you go to supermarkets.
Okay.
Supermarket like some of the one we went to buy. I think it was bought bread or something.
Yeah.
You see, those ones you don't haggle. They have
because they're more set stores.
yeah, they are set stores in supermarkets. They have cashiers with the machines and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so and they have the prices label of the thing.
Yeah.
Those ones you don't haggle, but the one in the market, normal general things, you haggle. Even when we bought, you guys were not there. I went with your uncle when we bought the suya.
Mm-hmm.
When we bought all the ones and they were preparing it, we started telling them that it needs to add more. That's extra that we're not going to pay for.
Yeah.
No, because that's extra chara, we call it. Just because we bought a huge quantity from you.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, suya is like it's basically meat that's cooked and seasoned with like onions, and it has a specific seasoning. And sometimes it's beef, or it could be.
It could be beef, it could be chicken, it could be different kind of thing. It's like kebab with some steak.
Yeah, it's like a kebab.
But it's the seasoning is unique. It's different. It's really tasty. So we did that and we got a little bit extra because we bought a lot. Got a lot for all of us. So those are kind of experiences that it's maybe unusual to you, but it's something that we are.
Yeah, and we might even have to do maybe a part 2 where we just go into a little bit more details on certain things because we're already talking more than I would about it.
Yeah.
So if people want part 2, you can let us know. We can maybe even have my siblings on and maybe talk about more experience stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think overall it's just good to see family that you've either talked to on the phone or maybe haven't seen before. To actually see them in person was always good. But yeah, it was a good trip.
Yeah, it was. But I know you were By the time we were towards the end, you were ready to come back.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to be home. It was long, so and flying almost every 2 or 3 days didn't
Yeah.
help. So
Yeah, that's
if we're in
true.
like one place and had stuff we were doing,
Doing,
it would
yeah.
have been better. But
Yeah, it was because we had places to go, people to see. So yes, 2 or 3 days. We'll fly from another place
it
back.
just made the trip almost feel a little bit longer. So
Yeah,
yeah,
kind of. Yeah, we spent a lot of time at the airport.
yeah.
At the airport, flying in and out. In
And
and
then
out.
having to carry luggage. We each had like 4 pieces of luggage. Because we had like the two carry-on, and then we had two bigger ones that we checked in.
Yeah.
And there was 5 of us that went. So if you do the math, that's at least 20 pieces of luggage. So not even mentioning like smaller bags and all that stuff. So,
Yeah. And then coming back, we carried a lot back too.
yeah.
So it's just traveling generally is stressful.
Mhm.
It is stressful, especially when you have to fly. When you have to fly commercial. I know private jets it's not that stressful. When you are flying commercial with security, TSA, checking luggages, carrying luggages, and
Yeah.
things like that, it's very, very stressful. And then there's an extra layer of stress
Yeah.
when you are going to Nigeria. It's just an extra layer of stress because of the unique nature of the environment, the people, and I think we love it. We love it. It's our home country. So
Yeah.
we're thankful that we get the opportunity to be able to go, like you said, to see family members and people we've not seen in a while.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of Chris the Podcast. Like I said, if you guys want another part 2 or another episode talk about our travels, let us know. And we'll see you guys later.
See you next time.